Respected elders, educationists, dear teachers, and dear students, welcome. In this class, we are going to see a ninth part of relative classes. In this class, we are going to see the main differences between defining relative class and not defining relative class. This is very important, my dear children. The defining and not defining relative classes are very, very important to express any idea in English, whether it is a spoken or written. That is, whether it is a formal or informal English, whatever it is. Without which, that is, without defining and not defining relative classes, we cannot express any idea as we please, as we want to tell. So you've already seen in the eight classes. What is the defining and what is not defining relative classes and what is the connective relative class. Well, many more things we have seen. But in this class, mainly the difference between defining and non-defining relative classes. Come, English grammar. Relative classes, part 9. Live 307. Dated 27/9/2024. Relative classes, part 9. Defining and non-defining relative classes. A comparison. The importance of commas in relative classes. It is paramount importance to know that commas in relative classes play major roles. My dear students, commas in relative classes play major roles. First, notice the following two sentences. That is, let us see these two sentences. The first sentence is the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. The second sentence is the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. My dear students, both these sentences are having the same number of words in the same places. The only difference between these two sentences is here there is no comma both before and after the relative class. Here there are commas before and after the relative class. The relative class without commas is called defining relative class. The relative class with commas is called not defining relative class. Okay. Now let us see the meaning of this sentence. The travelers who knew about the floods took another road. Defining relative class. The travelers who knew about the floods took another road. Not defining relative class. Now let us see. Let us see it clearly with a full explanation. What are the meanings behind these two kinds of sentences? In A, we have a defining relative class, which defines or limits the noun travelers. My dear children, in the defining relative class, the defining relative class limits defines or limits the function of the noun standing before it. My dear children, again I stress it. In a defining relative class, the defining relative class defines or limits the function of the noun standing before it. You see, in A, we are defining relative class, which defines or limits the noun travelers. Okay, this sentence tells us that only the travelers who knew about the floods took the other road. The sentence, the divine relative class, the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. Its one meaning is the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. It says this sentence also tells that the travelers who did not know about the floods took the flooded road. My dear children, my dear children, so you see this sentence. The travelers who knew about the floods took another road. This relative class has two kinds of meanings. One meaning is the travelers, only the travelers who knew about the floods took another. This is one meaning. Only the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. The second meaning of this sentence is the travelers who did not know about the floods took the same flooded road. These two meanings. That is, the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. It expresses, it has two kinds of meaning. One meaning is only the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. There were some other time, that is, the travelers who did not know about the floods took the same flooded road. This is the two meanings of the defining relative class. But what is the meaning of the non-defining relative class? Many students, the travelers who knew about the floods took another means. All travelers knew about the floods and took another road. All travelers knew about the floods and so they took another road. So, yeah, but a simple, the commas, using the two commas, the English expresses its richness using two commas. Without commas, defining. With commas, not defining. The defining relative class has two meanings. One is limited, one is within, another is another thing. So the travelers who knew about the floods to the same road, another road means it has to mean only the travelers who knew about the floods, who knew about the floods took another road. It has another meaning. That is, the travelers who did not know about the floods took the same flooded road. It is the two meanings of the defining relative class. But the not defining relative class has only one meaning. That is, all that the travelers who knew about the floods took another road means all the travelers knew about the floods and took another road. So, okay. In B, we have a non-defining class which does not define a limit the noun travelers. This sentence tells us that all the travelers knew about the floods and took the other road. I will explain to you. My dear students, you can, I explained the Not defining and non-defining relative classes once more. The non-defining, I mean the defining relative classes tells us that the travelers who knew about the floods took another route. That is, this defining classes two kinds of meaning. That is, only the travelers who knew about the floods another route. Also, it has another meaning. That is, the travelers who did not know about the floods took the same flooded route. It is a defining. No, not defining. The travelers who knew the floods took another road. Not defining. That is, all the travelers knew about the floods and took another road. Okay. So some two more examples I am to give. Have a glance of this some other two sentences. The boys who wanted to play football were disappointed. See, sentence C tells us that only some of the boys wanted to play football. This sentence also tells us that there were presumably other boys who did not mind whether it rained or not. My dear students, the defining related classes as we have already seen. The boys who wanted to play football were disappointed when it rained. This defining relative class also has two kinds of meanings. That is, there were many boys in the ground, but among the many boys, only some boys. That is, only the boys who wanted to play football got disappointed when it rained. Only the boys who wanted to play football got disappointed when it rained. Another meaning, another boys who were, other boys who were not interested in playing football, and other boys who were not interested in playing did not get disappointed, did not get disappointed when it rained. So the sentence, the boys who wanted to play football were disappointed when it rained means only the boys who wanted to play football got disappointed when it rained. Other boys who did not want to play did not get disappointed when it rained. So one sentence, two meanings, relative class. The ninth sentence regarding the not defining relative class. That is, the boys who wanted to play football were disappointed when it rained. This not defining relative class means all boys all boys wanted to play. So all boys got disappointed when it rained. Okay, my dear students, again The two kinds of sentence, defining and non-defining relative classes. The boys who wanted to play football were disappointed. That is, got disappointed. Were disappointed means got disappointed when it rained. The boys who wanted to play football were disappointed when it rained. It has two meanings. Only the boys who wanted to play football got disappointed when it rained. The other boys who were not interested in playing football did not get disappointed when it rained. It is the meaning of it is the two kinds of meanings of that future, defining relative class. Not defining relative class. The boys who wanted to play football were disappointed when it rained. It means not defining relative class. All the boys, all the boys wanted to play football, so they got disappointed when it rained. See, sentence D tells that all the boys wanted to play and all were disappointed. The second example. Let us see the third example. My dear students, in the two examples, we have seen only the relative class referring to human beings. In example A, in example B, you have seen only persons. Only persons, regarding persons, the relative class regarding persons you have seen. In the third example, we are going to see the relative class representing things and other beings. Go through the following two sentences. The wine which was in the cellar was ruined. The wine which was in the cellar was ruined. Defining and not defining. My dear students, again the meaning is the same. It is the wine which was in the cellar was ruined. It has two kinds of meanings. You see, first you see, sentence E, that is E, tells that only the wine kept in the cellar was ruined. One meaning. Only the wine in the cellar was ruined. Its second meaning. The sentence also tells us that amount of wine was kept elsewhere and that escaped damage. My dear students, when when this when it is when the construction is used as a defining relative class, that the wine which was in the cellar was ruined. When it is used as a defining relative class, it has two meanings. One meaning is only the wine which was which was kept in the cellar got ruined, was ruined. One meaning. Second meaning, there is some amount of another wine, some amount of wine was kept elsewhere. That wine did not get ruined, did not spoil. Only the wine that was in the cellar got ruined. Some other wine that was kept elsewhere did not get ruined. Those two meanings. It is, but when it is used as a defining relative class, when it is used as a not defining relative class, the entire wine was kept in the cellar, and the entire wine was ruined. That's all. Again, my dear children, when it is used as a defining relative class, it has two meanings. The wine which was in the cellar was ruined. That means only the amount of wine that was in the cellar got ruined. It is one meaning. It has some other meaning. One more meaning. That is, some amount of wine was kept elsewhere. That wine was not ruined. Only the wine in the cellar was ruined. The another amount of wine which was kept elsewhere was not ruined. 2 minutes. But when it is used as a not defining relative class, the entire wine was kept in the cellar and the entire wine was ruined. Sentence CF tells us that all the wine was in the cellar and ruined. Okay. Thus, in example A and B, we saw relative classes regarding persons. In C, we saw the relative class regarding things. So when a sentence, when you think, when a content is used in a defining relative class, it has two meanings. That is, only that, only those, only those amount, or only those boys, or only those travelers. One meaning. And another part of travelers who are not connected with it. That has two kinds of meanings. It is the recording the wine. I there are the wine which was in the cellar was ruined. That is only the wine that was in the cellar was ruined. One meaning. Some other wine, some amount of wine was kept elsewhere. That wine was not ruined. This is a defining. Non defining. The wine which was kept, which was in the cellar, got the wine which was in the cellar was ruined. That is, the entire wine was in the cellar, and the entire wine was ruined. Then, my dear students, four. The main differences between defining relative and class and non-defining relative class. Main difference. Defining commas are not used before and after it. In defining relative classes, commas are not used. But in a non-defining relative classes, commas are used. Must, my dear students, my dear teachers, why are a defining relative classes is to be used? Only relative class should be used. The place where relative class alone, I mean defining relative class alone can be used, we cannot use any other relative class. Whether non-defining relative class or connective relative class or simple sentences we cannot use. If you have to use, if you have to use a defining relative class to express an idea, then we have to use only defining relative class. But regarding not defining relative class, it is not like that. Thirdly, the content of this class cannot be expressed by any other way. That is, what can be expressed only by a defining relative class cannot be expressed by any other way. Example, the boy who kept me is valid. This content cannot be expressed by any other way. But recording non-defining class, content of this clause can be expressed by some other ways. The boy who kept me is well. This is a defining, this is a non-defining. This non-defining, the meaning of this non-defining class, relative class, can be expressed in another way. That is, a boy helped me. It is valid. A boy helped me. It is valid. A boy helped me. His name is valid. So it could be a boy helped me, and his name is. So what can be expressed through a defining relative class cannot be expressed by any other way. But what can be expressed through a not defining relative class can be expressed by some other ways. That's all. My dear students, again and again, I have given three examples. That is, what is the difference between a defining and non-defining relative classes? Two examples for persons and one example for things. My dear, anyway, whether it is persons or things, that doesn't matter. But that is, in defining relative classes, commas are not used. And that one defining class has two kinds of meanings. It could be interpreted in two ways. It is, for example, say, the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. This defining class has two kinds of meanings. It can be interpreted in two ways. That is, only the travelers who knew about the floods took another road. That means when we use the word only, there is something meaning. That is others. That is the other travelers who did not know about the floods took the same flooded road. So it has two meanings. When the sentence is used as a defining relative class, it has two meanings. It can be interpreted in two ways. But when it is used as a non-defining relative class, it would be having only one meaning. The travelers who knew about the floods took another. It means it has only one meaning. All the travelers knew about the floods and hence they took another. So okay, very important. Very important. That is some nine classes I have given, my dear children. Nine classes I have given. It is because in our ordinary speech and writing, that is both for formal and informal English, particularly to speak better. But when we speak, we are not using the commas. Only in formal English, only in written English, we are using the commas. That would so it is a not a very little class. But in speech, the commas we are not. Yet it would be interpreted. It would be interpreted whether it is a defining or not defining the class. There is the possibility. Anyhow, my dear children, as far as myself is concerned, even when I prepared for these nine classes, I have learned many things. The limits, the definition of defining and not defining related classes. I have learned many things. These things we are not. I was not definitely before. Now I am definite. Where we should use a defining related class and what it would mean, and where we have to use non-defining and unconnected related classes and what it would mean. All these things. So we should go on learning and learning. Practice makes perfect. So it is not age. It is not either school or college or teaching professions or anything. or whatever it is. If you want to gain and full performance, if you want to gain, learn full things of your thing, we should go on repeating it. As we go on repeating and repeating, who would be gaining, we would be learning and earning. I mean, so many new tips would be coming to us. So don't waste your time in unnecessary activities. Whatever your activity it is, it should be useful both to you and the society in some way or other. Okay. Respected elders, educationists, teachers, and my dear children, I thank all of you for listening to my class. Till I meet you in the next class, I wish all of you a very nice and sweet time. Thank you.